The past 2 weeks have been absolutely crazy when it comes to interest rates. An incredible roller coaster of a ride. Rates plus or minus 1 point within a single day. Lots of things going on. A lot of misinformation. Today, I'm with Will Hollister, Atlantic Coast Mortgage. He's going to help us make sense of this crazy ride that we're on with interest rates. I will say before we start that a couple things I think are important. A lot of misinformation out there. A lot of people feel like you can get a 30-year mortgage with 0% financing. That just isn't going to happen. Doesn't exist. Nobody's going to lend you money like that. Second thing, in my opinion, anybody who tells you that they know what's going to happen with interest rates tomorrow or even this afternoon, I don't think they're being honest with you. So, Will, let's get right into the rates and how the Fed influences the rates, and
sure,
they're not exactly the same.
Not quite as connected as people might think, but early March, the first week of March, we did see kind of historically low rates. Early last week, in the midst of all the coronavirus talk, markets kind of shifted very suddenly last Tuesday when the World Health Organization declared global pandemic. So since then, obviously, we have kind of seen a roller coaster, as you mentioned. What is really important to realize is with all the news of the Fed cutting the rate to zero, that does not specifically affect mortgage rates.
Sure.
The Fed is, when they're setting their rates, that's affecting intrabank short-term
rates
Yep.
between banks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to have a bigger effect on, car loans, maybe credit cards, things like that.
Right.
What is going to have some effect on the mortgage rates is another of the Fed actions, which is buying up treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities, which they're doing in an attempt to help stabilize the rates, as we've seen, unprecedented swings both up and down.
Is that one of the reasons why the rates actually increased, is that there wasn't anybody actually buying those securities? And in fact, they were selling them.
Absolutely. So the price of mortgage-backed securities and other long-term financial instruments are going to take a big role in setting the market for mortgage rates. And with the market in such fluctuation over the past week or so, it's really had a direct impact on what your daily mortgage rates are going to be.
So we're talking swings of up to a point or even greater in day to day or even within a day.
Yeah, so
that's crazy, right?
Absolutely. And again, we were at historically low levels within the last 2 weeks. So while we do see a ton of movement day to day, like you said, in some cases in specific markets, upwards of a point in either direction, it's really hard to tell where things are going to settle.
So let's give our listeners a little bit of advice. My take on this is that if you're buying a home and you find the home that you love and the rates are good and you can afford it, then lock in the rate right then and there. Like, there's no sense in trying to play this game, because I think it's a loser's game. I don't think you got to come out ahead, and if you do, you just got lucky.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
It's kind of like picking the stock, right?
Yeah.
And as far as refinancing, what's your
Sure. So it's really the same advice. There are a number of people that did kind of try to, I call it timing the bottom.
Sure.
A couple weeks back,
Yep.
And if you didn't jump on rates when they really made sense, at this point, those rates are no longer available. We still are in a great rate environment where rates are still very low. A lot of people are still able to refinance into lower rates. And with that, it's important to prep yourself. And, if you're thinking about it, go ahead, put in an application with your lender, just so when rates do hit a level that you're comfortable with, you need to jump on it immediately, because you don't know what the rates are going to be the next day.
Good advice, Will. Thanks for joining us today. If you guys have any questions at all about current interest rates, what you can get for a 30-year fixed year variable rate, VA, FHA, you do them all. Feel free to give Will a call. He's always available to help, and we will provide his link and information down below on the Facebook post as well as the YouTube video. And thanks for watching.